So we'll start with formatting cells, rows, and columns. So as I discussed with you yesterday, we'll be using some shortcuts here to quickly format the data. So first of all, why we have to format the data? Let's look at it. So if you can look at this data, it's very cumbersome, not properly formatted, not aligned, no borders, nothing, no visual aesthetics is there. So most of us do this in a hurry burry. So we don't think much about the formatting part. So it will actually spoil the impression, it will reduce the readability of your data, and all such things will happen. So just spending few minutes, or not even few minutes actually, if you're a little well versed with the shortcuts, you can quickly format your data, and that will really improve the visual aesthetics of it, which is very important for using in the projects and other things. So I'll be sharing the shortcuts with you. I'll first explain it using the shortcuts, then I'll share the shortcuts with you. So currently, I'll select the data entirely. See, in this data, I'm first going to adjust the columns first. So I'm going to use Alt O C A. These are the keys that I'm going to use. So don't worry, I'll be sharing the shortcut keys to you. I'll put it in the chat box. You all can get it. See, when you use Alt OCA, it is going to auto fit the columns. So when you do that, it will adjust to the biggest length, or the, how to say, the most lengthier data, whichever is there, it will adjust to that size actually. But again, if I enter some value which is lengthier than what is already present, it is again going to create problems. So we need to give some breathing space. So the spacing is important so that the readability is maintained. I'm going to modify the column width over here. And first you need to choose the column of which you are going to change the width. I have chosen name column. I'm giving Alt O C W. See, this is the shortcut for modifying the column width. So over here, I'll mention currently it is 17.22. Just change it to 20 or 25 because names will be lengthier. So employee number. It is of uniform size, but still it has got very less space. So I'll increase this size as well. Alt O C W. Say over here, and say 10. I'll change it. So you can also use this Control Y if you have to redo any performed action, any previous action. If you want to repeat it, you just have to choose where you want to perform that option action. I'll select region column and say Control Y. It just does the same thing what we did for employee number column. You could also use the same whatever we did with name column, but it only repeats the previous action. So this is also one of the shortcuts which is really helpful to repeat the previous task. So I'd say Alt O C W again and change the width of the division column and just say 20 here. Please don't annotate. Fine. See, I'm going to repeat the action with department now. So same thing with manager as well. I've increased or modified the width of these columns. So next thing is, you can see the data is very close by because the row height is too less. You can increase the row height so that between each row the data will have some space and you'll increase the readability. So let's say Alt O R E, that's the shortcut. So here I'll increase it to 15. You could also give a bigger number. The bigger the number, the more the gap between the data. Please don't draw, guys. I don't want anyone to annotate here. Okay. So next thing that we want to do is add some visual aesthetics to it, that is giving borders and other things. See, for applying borders quickly, you can select and say Control 1. That's the shortcut key used. See, when you give this, see, this Control 1 is a universal key. If you select cells and give Control 1, it will give you the window for formatting cells. If it is done with shape, it will give you formatting shape window. If it is done with a chart, it will give you a window for formatting the chart. So it all depends what you have selected. See, over here, choose the border. See this tab, border tab you have to choose. See over here, you should choose the color first. See, if you don't wish to give any color to your border, you can directly choose from here. See, I'll go choose a color. Let's say I'll take blue. See, this one. Now, these thicker lines that you see are always used for the outline purpose, and these thin lines for the inside borders. These are the standard ways to apply formats. So you could choose any thick line over here to apply outline, only the outline. The inner borders should be much thinner so that your data is emphasized and it doesn't look splashy. So I'll choose any one over here. So I'll first choose the thicker line and draw an outline for it. You need to click on the outline option. You can see in the preview that the outline is applied. So next I'll choose a thin line. I'll use inside borders. So over here you can see the thin lines are applied. After giving this, say OK. You can see the borders are applied. See, it's so quick. If you know a few shortcuts, it's really quick to format your data. After this, you're going to choose the headers of the column. Always, in any kind of data, your headers must be center aligned. So you choose center aligned. You can also give Alt H A C for that, or if you can't remember that or it is too lengthy, you can use this option to center align. Not a big deal with it. So after you align this, I want to highlight the headings of the column with the same color of the border. So you could max to max choose two colors in formatting any data. Don't choose too many colors. Again, it looks very unprofessional. So I'll go here and choose the same color that we gave to the border. So if you're choosing a dark color, you have to make the text light. Or if it is a light color, you're going to choose the dark text. So it's vice versa. So whatever you choose, it all depends on that. So once we are done with this, so you can look at it. We still have scope to improve the way the data is appearing. The alignment part is going to play a major role here. So you can see this data is, the data in the name column is very close to the border. And you can also observe that it is, varying in length. That is also important. So if you have a data which is varying in the length, you can keep it left aligned. But if we want to give some gap from the border, so what you can do is you can use indentation. So increase the indent. So select the data, say increase indent, it will give a gap over there. See, if your data is of the same length throughout, you can keep it center aligned. So you can repeat the same with region column. So over here, I'll choose this. I'll increase the indent. I'll do the same with department and manager. I'll increase the indent. So you have another table over here. You can use it for practice. Anyways, I'll be sharing this data with you. So I'll type the shortcuts for you in the message box now. How do you want it? Shall I display it in a notepad or shall I put it for you in the chat box? Please reply to me.
Ma'am, wherever we can retain, where we don't have to write it again.
Uh, I think I'll share it to you in a notepad. That would be better.
Thank you.
Okay.
Hello.
Yes.
Vidya, I have a doubt.
May I know speaking?
Srinivas.
Yes, tell me, Srinivas.
At last, you did some indent. Uh,
Increasing
just
the indent.
yes, yes. Do you have any shortcut for that?
See, each command on the ribbon has got a shortcut, Srinivas. Unless and until you use that very frequently, you don't have to remember. See, I'll tell you how to easily get a shortcut for any command on the ribbon. When you press Alt, uh, this is fiddling with the meeting tools over here. Yes. Okay, when you press Alt, you can see it will show you the next letter that you have to choose to go to a particular tab here. Now if I press H again, it'll show me alphabets for other commands present on the ribbon. Now if I have to increase the indent, it is showing me 6 over here. If I click 6, it will increase the indent. So you can use this Alt button for looking at the shortcuts without using mouse. If you want to select some command, you can use this. There's no problem. But there is no need to remember every shortcut as well. So the ones which you frequently use, which allows you to quickly format your data or doing any task which you repeatedly do. So it's better to remember only those. You don't have to remember for every task you perform. Am I clear, Srinivas? Srinivas, you are able to hear me? Okay, I guess Srinivas has left, or I don't know, maybe the call has dropped. Anyways, we'll move to the.
Vidya, I didn't heard there was a network issue. Now, will it be there in recording?
It will be there in recording, Srinivas.
And another thing is, like at first column in the name column, we just modified something, and we use format painter
You
and
can. You can use
to
format painter
maintain
also.
the same
F4.
thing.
Yes, you can do it.
Okay, fine. Thank you.
Okay. So we'll go for the next topic now. The next topic is very important for you to learn the formulas. So please pay attention. It's a little confusing, but it's fine. I'll try and make it as simple as possible for you to understand it. So let me keep it ready. Just give me a second. I'll share that window to you. So the next chapter name is references. Yeah. Are you all able to see this references chapter? Are you all able to see the references chapter?
Yes, now.
Yes.
Okay. See, references comes into picture only when you are using formulas in Excel. Okay. See, whenever we are typing any formula, whether you want to insert any formula or function within Excel, we start with equals. So once you type equals, you can begin that. So people also use at symbol, minus, plus, Even these things are also possible. So if you can start any function by typing them. But as soon as you type equal to, you are indicating Excel, you are going to use some function or a formula. So there is a difference here in function and formula. Function is predefined. It's already there in Excel, you're just making use of it. And you have to just provide correct input for it to provide the result, just like your sum function. You don't tell sum function to go and add numbers. You just select them, it will add and give you the result. It's just like that. But formula is something that you print there with operators like plus, minus, and divide. So those things you will be specifying there to, perform some uh, calculation. So that is known as formula. And if you combine two or three functions together, even that is also known as a formula. So most of us commonly use the name as formula. I just wanted you to know the difference between a function and a formula. So let me start with this. Now if we give equal to, the next thing is, I'm not going to type any numbers here. I'll be choosing a cell. So it could be any cell like this. See, to perform any calculation, I'll not say you have to add 110 and plus 350. We are going to select those locations. This is known as referencing. When you refer to a cell, when you select a cell while giving a formula or function, then it is known as cell reference. There are three types in Excel. We'll learn one by one. The most common one that you use is relative reference. I'll tell you how it is relative. I'll just give an example over here. I'll give two numbers. Okay. And I'll use some function to add this. So now I've got this result. Now if I copy and paste this elsewhere, you see, this is the problem. We actually intend to see the same result what is appearing here. Whatever we copied, we would like to see the same number. The problem is, when you are giving some instruction to Excel using a formula or function, you are only going to tell the position of that cell from where you are giving the formula. Say, I am giving a formula in M10, saying you need to add two numbers lying above you. So above two cells, whatever is there, you just have to add it. The same instruction I have copy pasted in other cells also. You see what happens? You just double click on these cells. You can find it selects two cells. And you'll see the address has also been changed. I pasted it in O4 and it is trying to add O2 and O3. Same thing is happening over here as well. N12 and N13. See, I have pasted it in N20, it will be adding 18 and 19. This is because of the relative nature of the reference that we have provided. So, in relation to the cell where I paste the formula, the reference will change. That is relative reference. So, here when I gave in the beginning in M10, relative to M10, I selected M8 and M9. The same kind of relation is maintained wherever I paste this formula. That's the reason you are getting 0 over here. See, if I give two numbers on top of this, it is going to display me a number. Since we don't have anything on top of this cell, you're seeing 0. You see? Now it is adding and giving me a result. Because now I have an input. In these two cells, I don't have an input. It's blank, so you're getting 0. So that's how it is a relative reference. So we have other two known as absolute and mixed reference. So I'll be showing you that as well. See now, I'll change the reference of M8 and M9 to absolute by giving dollars to it. So just you have to select the address. You need to use F4. F4 is the button that you have to use to provide dollars. Please don't use it directly. Don't type dollars. Never make it a habit. It is not good and it doesn't work always. Fine. You can use F4 always to toggle between different references. So now if I have to make it relative, I'll again keep pressing F4. The dollar positions change and I'll give it back. You can keep pressing F4. See, when you get dollars, it is known as absolute reference. So if you can see it closely, I'll just zoom in. You can see it clearly. So you have dollar on M and you have dollar on 8. M is your column reference, 8 is your row reference. Both row and column are made absolute. Whenever you place a dollar, it means it is made absolute, whether it is a column reference or row reference. So if it has got a dollar, that means it has been made absolute. And in a cell address, if both column and row address, if they have dollars, it means that is an absolute reference. So what makes the difference if it is an absolute reference? See, I'll copy this. I'll paste it in the same place where we had pasted previously. See, now you can see 3531, 3531 everywhere, wherever you have pasted it. So even if you paste it in the end of the sheet or somewhere else for that matter, it will still refer to these two cells only. The meaning of absolute reference is the reference to those particular cells should never change. It should be absolutely the same. The same reference has to be carried out. So for that, we give dollars. So whenever you don't want reference of particular cell to change, you'll use absolute reference. So we saw the two extremities. One is absolute and the other is relative. Are you clear on these two? Because the next one is a little confusing. So I'll have to go a little slower. I want you to confirm whether you're clear with these two. You clear?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, good enough. So we'll check how to work on mixed reference now. See, mixed references, either you will keep the column absolute or the row absolute, not both at the same time. So where does the need arise for this? So let's see that. See, if I have given a relative reference and I choose this, I have selected location. I press enter. See, I've used relative reference here. Are you able to see it? Let me remove this background color. Yes. So now you look at the formula. It displays as B8. B8 is this cell's address, location cell's address. If you say equal to and select a cell, it will display exactly whatever is present in that cell. So you all know this. But what reference I have used here? It is a relative reference. There is no dollars, then it is a relative reference. So remember that. So now you just observe one more thing that I'll show you. I'll copy paste this downwards. I'll copy this formula downwards. You just see what happened. I'll use control and tilde. It will show me the formulas. See, B8, B9, B10. You can see on the left hand side, the referred cell is also changing. See, when I copy paste from top to bottom or bottom to top, the reference to the rows will change, but it is still remaining in the same column. Now if I have to copy paste this towards the right hand side, or left to right or right to left, see reference to the columns will change, you can observe. I'll reduce the zoom so you can see that here. See, if I select this, D8 will be selected. You can check. Now mugs has been selected. T-shirts has been selected. Okay. So you'll have to understand this. When you copy paste from top to bottom or bottom to top, row reference is changing. When you copy paste from left to right direction or vice versa, the reference to columns will change. So if I have to make only a column absolute, that is, I don't want reference from a particular column to change. It should always remain, or it should always remain reference to a particular column, let's say. Then we will go and make that column absolute. See over here in B8, column is B and row is 8. I'll place a dollar on B. So you just have to use F4 here. So over here, I'm changing it in the formula bar. Just check. I'll press F4. Now $2 are placed, one on B and the other on 8. I only want the dollar to be placed on B. I'll again press F4. I'll again press F4. You see now the dollar is placed on B. Because I want B column to be referenced throughout. I don't want the reference from B column to move. So I'll keep it absolute. So next, after I do this, you just see I'll copy paste it downwards. There's no change. There's no big change. It's the same. But when I copy paste from left to right or right to left, you can see the reference to column B has not changed. Previously, you can check, it was C8, D8 and E8. The reference to columns were changing. Now if I copy paste towards the right side, you can see the column reference is not changing at all. It is there in B8 only. But if I copy paste these 3 cells downwards, see, only the row reference is changing. Nowhere you see the column reference to change. I'm sorry, it's the other way. So wherever you place dollar, that reference will never change. I placed a dollar on B. You can see in all the cells, B is constant. Now let me change the position of the dollar. I'll change it. So you can see the output also. I'm just showing you the formulas. I'll show you the output as well. In B column, see in all these columns, you see only whatever is present in B column. Same data is displayed. The same data is displayed in all these columns because we have used dollar on B. I'll just change the reference now. I'll change the position of dollar towards 8. 8 is the row reference. So I'm keeping the row absolute now. So once you place a dollar on 8, so here it doesn't make any difference. I'll copy paste downwards. Just check. It all turns to location. I'll copy paste towards right side. This is the difference. Only the values present in 8th row is being displayed here. Previously what you saw, all values present in B column were displayed. Now you are seeing all values present in the 8th row in this table. Let me show you the formulas again. So you can check. Since I placed a dollar on 8, you can see 8 is constant in all the cells. So this is just the concept. I'll show you the application of the cell referencing. Then you will understand it better. So this is known as mixed reference. So when you place a dollar on column reference, it is known as absolute column relative row reference. If it is the other way around, that is when you place a dollar on row number, then it is absolute row relative column reference. So clear with this, all of you? Are you clear with this?
Vidya, how to see only formulas like control tilt? What is that?
Tilde is a key just below escape, Srinivas. Am I right? Is it Srinivas?
Yes, you're
Okay,
absolutely right.
fine. Yeah, you have to use control and a key that is just below escape. You hold it together, it will expand all the formulas present in that sheet. It will not show you the result of that formula, it will show you the formulas only. Formulas or functions, whatever you have given. And again, if you press the same keys, it will come back to the normal thing. It will show you the values.
Like if I use dollar in both the thing, like in with respect to the row and with respect to the column, will it become absolute reference?
Yes, it is. I
Okay,
can,
thank you.
yeah, I can show you here. I think I'll scroll down a bit. See, if suppose you assume B8 is our cell reference. B is the column and 8 is the row. Okay, the dollar will be always placed on the left hand side of any reference. Let it be column or let it be row. Sorry. Yes. See, this is the address. This is the cell address. In that, B is the column, 8 is row. So over here, if I make the column, if it is an absolute reference, if it is an absolute reference, then you'll see this kind of address, $B, $8. I'm going a bit slow in this chapter because it's really important for you to understand functions like VLOOKUP and other things. It is really, really important. So next, if it is relative reference, this is how the reference will look like, B8. And if it is a mixed reference, so as I said, there are two types of mixed reference. Either the column is absolute or the row is absolute. So let me show you that. Absolute column okay, and relative row. Over here, see, it looks like this. The column is absolute, so the dollar will be on the column. And the row is relative, so it is having no dollar on it. So next, the same thing, and just type absolute row and relative column. See over here, B doesn't have any dollars on it, only 8 has dollar on it. So this is the difference, guys. So if you remember this, so it's much better. So you should know which part of the address it is that you are making it absolute as. So then you will understand it. If B8 is your address, B is column, row is 8. If I say absolute reference, you will place dollars on both of them. If I say relative, there are no dollars. If I say absolute column, relative row, you will place dollar on column reference. If I say absolute row relative column, we'll place dollar on row reference. Is it clear to everyone now?
I have a small question on the dollar.
Yeah, tell me. May I know whom am I speaking to?
Rajesh.
Rajesh, tell me, Rajesh.
When we use equal and giving a reference to the other cells,
Yeah.
so it will show B8 or B10 something like that, right?
Yes, it will always show you B8. I mean relative reference, Rajesh.
Yes, relative reference. So
Yes.
how can I use the dollar after that?
You should press F4 immediately after you select a cell. It will place dollars on it.
Okay, so once I give a reference, I have to press F4, then it is giving a dollar, right?
Yes, yes. You should not type dollars at any point of time. You should not use dollars using the keys. You should not type it. You should always go for F4 only. Now, suppose you forgot to give dollars. Let's say you completed giving the formula or function, and you forgot to give dollars. Let's say then you just have to go. You see, now I forgot to give dollars on both references. Let's say I'll choose the address again. You need to select the address, then press F4. So dollar positions keep changing. So whichever reference you want to provide, based on that, you stop pressing F4. And please don't remember how many times I have to press F4. I have heard this question many times. So you don't have to worry about it. Just keep pressing F4. You know where to place the dollars. So that's it. So when you have the dollars positioned in your required place, then you can stop pressing F4. Is it clear?
Okay. Yeah, got it.
Okay. So any other questions on this, students?
No, Vidya.
Okay. So we'll proceed with the application of all this now, whatever we have learned till now. So we'll see how it will be helpful in applying it. So just wait for a second until I share the screen. Yes. So we have an exercise named as cell references. You'll find this file. I'll be mailing it to you later. So you need to use this file to practice this cell referencing. Yes. See, I have all three examples to explain you how it is helpful to you. See, over here we have an exercise where we are saying multiply each column. So it should be actually each row, right? Each column with each row. But the question is simple. I'll give you this. So if we have some discount percentage over here, where the discount I want to provide is 15%, let's say. And this is the total price of all the products that we have listed here. I would like to get the discount amount, not the percentage. Percentage we have already mentioned. So I want to multiply this 15% with the total price of all the products and get the discount amount in this column. So usually what we do, you just select equal to, you just type equal to, you'll select this. Either you type 15%, there is nothing wrong in this. If you type 15%, I'm telling you, it is nothing wrong in this. But if I have to change the percentage now, I want to reduce it, I'll give 5% or I'll give 10%. You will have to again go and change it in the formula. So don't keep such things. To reduce such things, to reduce such mistakes, we are using cell references here. See, basically, cell references is only going to matter when you are using it on a large scale, when you are copying it to many cells. See, if you have to give a formula in a single cell, doesn't matter what reference you use. So it is going to give you the same result. Only when you are copy pasting it to other cells, this is going to matter. Now over here, I want to multiply this 15% to all the cells. So as I said, you could type 15%, but it is not a dynamic one. If I have to change the percentage, again, I have to edit the formula and again I have to copy paste it. So what I'll do, I'll say equals, I'll choose this total price value. I'll multiply it with the value present over here, that is 15%. I'll select this. See, I have not used dollars anywhere. Both are relative reference. Even I want you to practice in the same way. See, this referencing is a little tricky, concept. You will get to know that by practicing, by doing trial and error. I'll show you how to do that over here so that you can practice the same when you are working on these files at home. See, I selected C8, I selected D7. I have multiplied it, and I'm just going to copy paste the same formula to few cells here. See, I'll copy paste this. I'm using a shortcut, Control D. It will copy down. So, but it is showing me percentage. That's because the 15% has got a percentage symbol. So nothing to worry. You should just go and change the number format. Keep it general. See, I'll show you this. But are the results correct? We need to check that. Just double click on any cell. See, this is not what we wanted. We wanted this 68,468 to get multiplied with 15%, but it is getting multiplied in some other cell over here. That's because I have used relative reference. I told you, when in the first cell, whatever instruction you have provided, the Excel will blindly follow it. That's the relative reference concept. So now I want only this D7 to be referred in all these cells. So for all these cells to get multiplied with. So I'll make D7 absolute. I'll press F4, replace dollars. This is absolute reference. After giving this, now I'll copy paste it again. So let's check whether it is working fine. Double click on that cell. See, it is referring to D7 only. The reference has not changed from D7. You can check another cell as well. See, once you're sure of it, then you can copy paste to all the cells over here. So you just have to select and say Control D, it will copy paste. See, if I have to change the percentage now, if I make it 5, the results will change automatically. You don't have to break your head in changing the formula again and again. So the cell referencing is a very powerful option, and so unless you leverage the use of it, okay, so you should know these things. Your formula should be in such a way that you provide it in a single cell and you copy paste it to other cells, it should work fine. You should not be wasting your time in editing the formula in each and every cell or each and every column. That should not happen. So let's work on a little bigger data now. I'll go for relative reference. See, over here on the right hand side, I have a huge sales data. So these are the salesperson names. This is the sales achieved by them throughout the year. So now let's say I decided to give them incentives. In each month I have given them a different incentive percentage. Now I should also know what incentive amount did they get. I have the incentive percentage, but I want to know the amount now. So for that, I'll have to multiply this 8% with the entire Jan column, because so all salespersons have got 8% of the sales that they have achieved. The same thing applies to other months also. So let me show you. So this is also simple multiplication. You say you start with equal to, you will choose 8%, you will multiply with the first salesperson sales value achieved in Jan. 8663 is the number. I've selected it and press enter. It works fine. It is giving me the perfect result. But I should see whether the same formula is going to work for all the months and all the salespersons as well. So I'll copy paste it to few cells over here. So now comes the problem. You need to check. See, why are we getting this error? So let's check it. I'll double click on this. So you can observe here on the right hand side, Jan is getting multiplied with 11,019, which is wrong. We want 8% to get multiplied, isn't it? So this is going wrong. And even over here, for that matter. So if I double click on this cell, you see, so some random cells are getting multiplied. It's not the 8% over here. So if I want to keep the 8% constant, so I have to choose the cell reference of this 8%, that is Q6. You can check it with the color code also, guys. So you can see Q6 is in blue and this 8% is getting highlighted in blue color. So you can also see which other cell is getting highlighted in red to know that is Q8. So you can see the address also in the same color and the cell getting highlighted in the same color. So I have to make this 8% absolute. So let me make it absolute. I have given dollars on 8%. Now let's see again whether it is working fine. You see, anyways we are getting numbers, but we should check whether the calculation is correct. See, Feb month is getting multiplied with Jan month's incentive percentage. This is also wrong. See, we want 8% selection to move to 12% or 9% as and when I copy paste my formula to the next column. See, this is working fine with Jan column but not with other column data. So you can see when I choose this, it's perfectly taking 8%. But when I choose March or April, it is still getting multiplied with 8%. So to avoid this or to correct it properly, see what should be constant? The reference on 8% should move to 12% and 9% when I copy paste the data from this formula from left hand to right hand side, or left to right or right to left. The column reference should change for me, but the row reference should not change. So I'll remove dollar on this Q. So I'll press F4. So that's done. So dollar on Q is removed. Dollar on 6 remains. Let me copy paste the formula again and let's check the difference now. See here, I double click it in the Feb month, it's exactly taking 12%. What about April? So this is also working fine. So this is how you have to work at home and check by trial and error basis. You will get to understand where you have to place dollar, where you should not. Now I'll copy paste the entire range. I'll copy paste the formula. So it's done. So you can randomly check again if you are not sure whether it's working fine. See, I'll choose some October month's data. You see, it's working fine. It's selecting 10% and it's taking 3497. This is completely fine. So any doubts on this? These two exercises till now? All slept, is it? All sleeping?
You just moved the dollar to the number like 6 and all.
Okay. Can you keep your mic a little far away and speak?
So like how is it based on trial and error method?
See, since you are learning now, I suggest you to go by trial and error. That's how you will understand it. But if you're quite sure with the references, you might, straight away give proper reference and use it. I'm not stopping you from that. But to understand in the beginning where to position the dollars, I suggest you to go by trial and error basis.
Okay. And another thing is like it's showing the percentage of a number. Means like if you want a discounted percentage value, like what will you use the formula like?
Then you have to use 1 minus the percentage value. I understood what you're saying.
in the
I'll-
same formula.
Yeah, the formula will differ, that's all. Here I'm calculating the incentive amount, so we are getting this. So what is the total amount that they got is what you want to check, correct? Along with the sales, if I'm not wrong.
Yes, correct. It
See,
same applies to the discount.
8% plus this Jan sales value is giving me, I'm sorry, 8% of 8663 is giving me 693. Your question is 8663 plus 8% of 8663, correct?
Correct.
So you should change the formula here. See, you know 8% is Q6. You're going to say, you're going to change the formula like this. 1 plus Q6 into, you have to change the formula like this. So now you'll get it this way, 9356. You can check 8663 plus 963 will give you the same result.
Yes, yes. Thanks, Vidya.
Okay. So that's how you just have to change the formula over here. It is 693. Fine. So the next exercise is on the mixed reference. See over here, you have to choose uh, both the mixed references, whether it is column absolute or row absolute. You'll have to decide here. I'll just show you. This also can go about with your trial and error basis. I'll be showing you directly now. So because you know already how to practice, so I'll be showing you what kind of reference you have to provide to achieve the result here. So I want to multiply each column with each row and get the result. So it is basically getting, preparing a tabular data with all the multiples. So it should work like this. 1 into 1 is 1. 1 into 2 is 2. So 2 into 4, it should display 4 over here. So this is how the result has to be displayed for me. So what I'll do, I'll say equals 1 on top and I multiply with 1 on the left hand side. See, both are relative reference. Now I have to change. Say I want all numbers in this column, that is in B column, to be referred. So this B column has to be constant. I have to always refer to B column here, irrespective of which cell I paste this formula. So I'll place a dollar on B. Only on B. Row reference is kept relative. So same thing applies to C7. C7 is this cell on top. So in C7, I want the row to be constant and the column to keep changing. It should be relative. So I'll give a dollar on row 7 and I'll leave the column as relative. So once you do this, you have to copy and paste the formulas to all the cells and you are done with it. So you can check the cell references if they are working fine. You can see it is staying in this same row and this is staying in the same column. It has not moved from there. So this is how you have to decide placing the dollars and achieve the results. So do you have any doubts in all these three types of references and their application?
We are good.
Sorry?
We are good with this.
Okay, Rajesh. Fine. I'll share a different screen now. Please hold on. Am I not audible, guys? Should I be a little louder?
No, it's fine.
Okay. Please wait for me until I share the screen. See, we'll start with formulas now. Once you're clear with these references, we'll start with the formulas chapter. So I'll start with the very common basic functions. So yes, so I'll share the screen now. So are you all able to see this common basic function screen?
Yes, ma'am. Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
So now, so yes, see you have some min, max, average, count A, count and count blank. These are few formulas or functions. Functions is an apt word. See, these are very commonly used among all. And one more thing I have to make it clear to you. All the functions that I am teaching you here are generalized. It is not specific to any department over here. This can be used by anyone and everyone. So we have selected the formulas which are very much common to all the industries over here. So don't expect something out of the box. Fine. So let me show you some function. See, whenever you just say equal to and you are trying to type a function name, you can just start with few letters. You will get a list of all the formulas starting from S over here, all the functions. You will choose them and you can press tab. See, this is one way. Or you could also type the entire function name and use it. No problem. But to avoid mistakes and reduce your time in typing, you could just type few letters and it will appear in the list. So once it is selected, you just press tab and it's done. So any function or formula you're using, you should look at the parameters first. What should be the input? So make it a practice with all the functions that you're learning, whether it is sum or whether it is VLOOKUP, anything. See, all functions have got parameters in them. So based on the parameters mentioned, you have to provide the input. Only then you're going to get the desired results. So once I have this sum function, I'm going to choose the numbers that I want to add. See, sum is used to add all numbers. So most of you know this. Press enter, you got the sum. So the same function I wanted to all the other rows. Just double click this or drag it or even copy paste it. It will get the results for me. So next is min. See, min is a function which will return the lowest number or smallest number within the given selection. So I'll type min. I'll choose the range of cells in which I have to find out the smallest one. I'll close bracket, press enter. So 78. This is one of the smallest ones in the range I selected. Now if I type 5 here, see 5 is the least, so it will return 5. So it all depends on what is present in your selected range, and it will always return the least value in the selected range. So max is just opposite of it. You type max, you select this, okay, it will return the highest value in your selected range. So these are all quite simple functions. You don't have to worry much in learning them. So just give the function name, select the cells, it will do the job for you. See, I gave 8,000, changed. So 8,000 is the max, the highest number in the range that I have selected. Average. See, even average, calculating average in Excel is very easy. Just have to give the function name. So select the numbers. It is going to calculate average for it. As simple as that. And see, you can see three different counts over here. Count, count A, and count blank. There are three different counts in Excel. So I'll make it clear to you how count A is different from the other two. So what are the differences between these? So I'll just list them here. I'll show you in the same exercise. Say I'll use count A, I'll use count. The next one is count blank. Over here, now I'll select the same range using all three functions, and you see the difference in their results. So I'm going to select a range from this to this till here. So let me show you the results. It's equal to count A. Using count A, I'll select this range. I'll explain to you after showing the results. And I'll use count, and I'll select the same range of cells. And I'll use count blank, and again the same cell range. So you can see here count A is displaying 20, count 1 and count blank 1. Count A is a function which counts all non-blank cells. So whether it is a number, mix of number and alphabet, or only numbers, it is going to count everything. But it will ignore the blank cells. It doesn't count it. Count function will count only numerical value within the given selection. So we have only one numerical value here. If I type some number over here, see the count will increase. Count counts only numerical value within a given selection. It will ignore all text or alphanumeric and blanks. Count blank will count only blanks, nothing else. These are the three different types of counts available in Excel. So do you have any doubts in this chapter?
No.
Okay. We'll proceed to other chapter now. Please wait for me. I'll share the screen to you.
Ma'am, what about the hyphenated, numbers?
Even that is considered as text, Hasina. Tina.
Yeah, text is it?
Yeah.
Okay. Oh, thank you.
Vidya ma'am, whenever you have time, this is Sagu. Whenever you have time, you please tell me how you included this dollar sign in multiplication. When the results were coming, the dollar was being displayed in the last row as a result.
Okay. No, I didn't get your question, Sagu.
It's very simple. When you were doing a sum, there was a dollar also coming in, right?
No.
Dollar sign means
Okay,
dollar.
you mean format. Okay.
Yeah.
It's just the cell format. See, I'll show you if you are looking at the screen. I'll select this quarter one.
Yeah.
There is a section in home tab known as number.
Yeah, I know that.
So just click on the dollar. It will display dollar to you.
Yeah, I can make INR also. I can convert into Indian rupees also. Means I can write rupees also.
Yes, definitely. So you have to choose from the list over here. See if your currency is not available here, you just click on more accounting formats. So we'll look at this in detail in number formatting chapter. But currently, just to show you how to insert rupee symbol, I am showing you this. So you click on that more accounting formats, and you can just scroll down until you see this rupee symbol. We do have it in our systems. You just have to select it.
Thank you. I understand. Thank you very much.
Okay, see, we got it here. So you have to choose the symbol. Once you insert it, see, we got the rupee symbol as well. So just try and search for it. If it is not available, you can even download those things, those formats, and install it. Yes, any other doubts? Any other doubts? Shall we proceed to the next chapter? Okay, I'll be sharing the screen of the next chapter now. Yes. Yes. Are you able to see the screen of text formulas? Are you able to see the screen of text formulas, all of you?
Yes.
Okay. See, this text formulas is a collection of a lot of functions here, which will help you in cleansing your text values. So you might be facing issues like splitting it, and taking only first name, taking only last name, changing the case, substituting some other character in the place of an old character. All those things can be achieved using these text formulas. So we'll see that here. So I'll explain it to you one by one. I'll stop at one point. You can ask me questions when I ask you to do so. See, over here we have this lower, upper and proper. These three functions are used to change the case of the text, irrespective of the input. So don't worry whether it should be in upper case or it should be in lower case or mixed case. Whatever is the input, the lower function will convert the, or it will just convert the text to lower case for me. It's like this. Now if I use upper function, you see, I give this as an input to it, it will change it to uppercase. Proper function will, capitalize the first letter of each word that you have in the text given. So I choose this. So we have Bill MacArthur. So first letter of those two words will be capitalized. That is proper case. So these three functions are only used for changing the case of the text that you provide as an input. Next we have len function. See, I'll inform you even in the beginning itself. There are few functions which doesn't make any sense to us when we use them. But if those functions are used in association with some other function, they are really helpful for making it dynamic. So there are few functions over here which doesn't make any sense to us by using it individually, like this len and find and such things. But when we combine it with the other functions, they are really helpful to make it dynamic. We'll see in the further examples, you will understand it. So I'll use len function. This will give me the length of or the number of characters present in the text, including space. Even the space is considered as a character here. When I choose this, see it says 14. I'll change this to my name. Changed again. See, actually I have 9 characters in my name, but since there is a space in between, you will get 10. So even the space character is considered. So find function. Whenever you want to find the number of characters present in a given text, you are going to choose len function. So next, let's go for find. The find is a function which is used to get the position, the character position of a given character or a given substring, something like this. So let me show you both, then you'll understand why we use find. It is only going to give me the starting position of any given character. So if I say I want to know the position of uh, opening brackets over here. See, you have to look at the parameters. Find function will ask you to give the text that has to be found, and within text we also have start num, I'll tell you what it is used for. But these two are important. Find text, within which text you are going to find it. So I have given the opening bracket. See, you have to observe one more thing here. I'm using double quotes to provide opening bracket character. Since it's a text that I'm directly using in a function, you should always use double quotes. So whether it's an alphanumeric or just a text or some symbol like this, you should always give double quotes when you're using directly in a function. See, if the same open bracket, if I had typed in some other cell, I could have directly referred to that cell. So here I am typing it, so I am using double quotes. Next, I have to use this within text. Within this text, I am finding the position of opening bracket. After this, I'll close it. I'll press enter. So you got 12 here. 12 is the position of opening brackets. See, basil is 5 characters, leaf is 4, 5 plus 4 is 9, and we have 2 space characters, so 11. In 12th position, we have this opening bracket. That's how we got this 12. Now, what if I want to find the position of another opening bracket that we have here? We have a second occurrence. So for that, we use this start num. So we have a something known as start num over here. See, now we know the position of the first occurrence of opening bracket. I'll just mention 13. See, if you give 12, it will again return 12 only. So start num only means from which character should I start finding the position of the given character. So here I have given opening brackets. I want to find its position from 13th character. I know 12th character is already opening bracket, so I'm not giving it. I should give the next character. So that's how you'll get this. So we got 21. So this is how you use the find function. See, this was for a single character. You could also use find function for a substring. And one more thing that I would like to share you here is find is very strict in the case of the letters that we use. So if it doesn't match the case, it will show you 0. That is, it will throw you an error saying that particular character is not present. I'll show you that example. Now I want to find the position of GRO. Let's say I'll give that here. So who's that? Okay. So I'll type GRO over here. So let me give this G in caps and the other characters in small case as lowercase, and within text I'll give this. See, we have this GRO, but I have typed the substring wrong. I have deliberately given G in uppercase. So it will throw an error saying such substring is not present in this given text. So I have to be very careful with the case that I'm using. It's case sensitive. So I'll give it the exact case and it will find the position for me. So over here, base 3, leaf is 4, 7 characters, 2 space characters, so 9. So 10th character is opening brackets, G is in the 11th character. So that's how you'll find out. But again, as I said, find and length, these functions, when we use it with other functions, you will find it useful. So I'll show you the application of that in the left function over here. See, left is a function which will give me.
Ma'am,
Yes. Who's it?
could you go back to the previous one?
That is find.
Fine. Yes, ma'am.
Okay, Hina. Yes, tell me.
Ma'am, the first one wherein you have this 21,
Yes.
in that first time you found was the 11th position. That was the
No.
bracket, right?
Yeah, 12th position.
Yeah, 12th position. Then suppose in case if I'm not considering that first bracket and I want the end one, end the last after E. So what would be the formula directly? Because earlier you did the 12th position and then we got 21st position. Suppose if I want the last bracket one, how is the formula that time it's going to come?
Okay. Hina, that's going to be a little difficult. It's a lengthier one, but I'll show you here. You can follow it. Okay. See, as Hina said, she wants to find the position of the last closing bracket directly, and by not finding the first instance of the closing bracket. So then I have to start with find. I have to provide closing bracket. Okay. Within this text, see, I want to, this will only give me the first occurrence, as I said, but I want to get the second occurrence now. In that, start num, I have to provide, see, now I don't know what's the position of the first occurrence of closing bracket. So I'll again use find here. I'll again use closing bracket. I'll say search within B8 and I'll add 1 to it, because as I said, we'll have to find the position of the second occurrence of closing bracket. So I have to start looking for it from the next character of the first occurrence of closing bracket. So it looks like this. You will get this. But there is an easier way also, Hina. You can also find the length of this and you'll always get the position of the last character, because you don't have to do all this circus. If you are to find always the last character's position, you can just go for len, because it is going to give you the same result. You don't have to fuss around all these things. You can just select this. Length is also going to give the same result. Only if it is the last character.
Okay,
You
ma'am.
understood?
So plus one should be used if
Yes.
you're skipping one occurrences and moving to the other one.
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you, ma'am.
Okay. So anyone has any other doubts? I'm sorry I did not give some time to you. You can ask me now. So if you're clear with these 5 functions, we'll go forward. Lower, upper, proper, length, and find. Are there any doubts?
No, ma'am.
So anyone else? Yes, tell me. I can see you as Vivo1610. So may I know your name?
Oh, I said no doubts.
Sorry?
I said no doubts.
No doubts. Okay, no doubts. Oh, fine. So we'll move on to the next topic. Okay. See, left is a function which will print characters from the beginning of the text, and it will print the number of characters that you specify. So that's how left works. It will always print from the left side, that is from the beginning of the text. So for left, we have parameters here, text and the number of characters. Text is from which text you want to print. You will choose that. Number of characters is how many characters that you want to print. Now I want to print only Annie from the name Annie Phillips. So it is of 5 characters. I will mention 5 over here. So it is going to print Annie. But according to the question given, find the first name of all the employees. See, the employees don't have 5 characters in their first name. It could be more than 5 characters or less than that also. It should be considered dynamically, and we should get the first name of all employees automatically with one single formula. So for that, what you can do is, see, if you observe properly, all employee names have got space in them. So the space is going to be my deciding character. So any number of characters occurring before space will be the first name, and all characters occurring after space will be the last name. So if I can find the position of space, I'll get the number of characters present in the first name. So I'll use that logic here. So you can see space position, I'll give that here. See, I'll use find space, I'm enclosing it in double quotes. Within this text, I'll close bracket. So we got 6. See over here, I'll use left. I want from this employee name. Annie is of 5 characters. So what I'll do, I'll choose the space position and subtract 1 from it. So if you don't subtract, even that space is included in your output. The output will have an extra space in the first name that you have obtained. So to avoid that, I'm subtracting 1 from the space position. So this will get me the exact name. So I'll drag it down, or I'll just copy paste it. So you can find, so we have got all the first names of all the employees exactly. So without any problem, we have got it. So any doubts here?
Ma'am, could you go back to the formula again, please?
Yeah, sure. Yes, Hina.
Yeah, I'm just trying to B8 and E8. Ma'am, for Diana, what's the formula?
The same thing. It's the
If
same
you
thing.
click into it, okay, I need to see the cells which it is taken.
See, we have used a find function in this column here. We have used it separately. See, we could also include the same find function inside the left function. There is a way. See, you could also use it this way. You could say left and use this text and say to find the number of characters to be printed. You could also directly give find inside this, use space character and directly give this as input. Close find function and subtract 1 from it. So you can also do this. So to simplify it for all of you, I have separated this find function and the left function. And I have referred to the output of find function within the left function. So over here, this also gives me the same result. You can check. So to simplify, to make you understand why we have to use find, I've given it separately. Otherwise, you can also use it this way. All the functions within one. So I can directly use find within left and get it. This is also correct.
All right, ma'am. Thank you.
Okay. So now let's go for right function. See, this works in the opposite direction. Right will print from the end of the text. So the same thing over here, right function, and choose the text and give the number of characters. It will print from the end for me. So how do you know whether it is printing from beginning or ending? So let me show you that. If I reduce the number, I'll say 5. You see, it is not reducing from this end. It's reducing from this end. So it is always printing from the end of the text. Right is used for that. But using right function, if I have to print the last name of all employees, so the deciding character will remain the same. Space is going to decide over here which is first name and which is last name. But the logic has to change. I can't go by the same logic what we used in left. It doesn't work because find function will always count the space character starting from the beginning of the text. So the position of space will differ if I am directly using the way we have used it in left. Let me make it clear to you. If I use right and if I use text and give this find function directly, and if suppose someone assumes that I can add 1 to it and it will get me the right result, then it is wrong. It will work only for Phillips. It's not going to work with other names. You can check. See, this is wrong. So here we are finding space position. Space position in Annie Phillips is 6. In Diana Stone also it is 6. But the number of characters that I want to print in Diana Stone name is only 5 characters. But over here it is 7 characters. So it all differs. It's not going to work in the same manner because position of space when counted from the beginning of text is different from when we count it from the end of the text. So we can't go by this. I have to use another function. So I should choose length of the function. I'll tell you how it works. I'll give the logic to you. I have to use both length and find, length function and find function. Okay. So over here I'll use right. So even before that, so let me give length function. I'll find the length of Annie Phillips' name. And here I'll find space characters position. Within this will get me the position of space character. Now I just check if I subtract the position of space from the length value, I'll get 7. You can check that here. You can see. So if I take this minus this, I'll get 7. Just the exact value that I wanted. So I can use that thing over here. So I could just say right function, text is the employee name. I have to decide the number of characters by subtracting find space position from the length. So I'll use this and I'll have to copy paste all these together. So you can see we have got the last name of the employees exactly correct. So you got it right. So do you have any doubts here, students? In the right
Ma'am,
function?
is it necessary that first we need to find out length and then find and then get back the outcome, or is it a formula wherein just type that formula and we get at a time? Is it possible?
It is possible anyway, Hina. See, why I found out length and find in the beginning is, I need these values to be substituted in right function. You understood? Okay. See, I need these two values to get the result using right function. That's the reason I have to first find out length and find.
Okay. So direct formulas, if you apply, we cannot get the answer.
No, I'm not saying you cannot get it. I'm just simplifying it for you. As I said, even in left function, I displayed it to you. You could use a direct function like this. You can use find inside this. So in the same way, you can get the function, the result for the right directly. If you are well versed with the formulas, I suggest you to go by that way. So if you are in the learning phase, I suggest you to split it so that you will know whether the results are fine, whether it is coming properly. Then you can substitute it. No issues. So now I can show you here. So length, find out the length of this. Then subtract, find the position of space within this. So this is going to give me the result directly. But if you're really good at formulas, I'm not stopping you from this. You can go ahead using directly.
All right. Okay. Fine, ma'am. Thank you.
Okay. Any other doubts, students? You all are getting this? You all are understanding this?
Yes.
Okay. I'm unable to see the chat window. Okay. Okay, fine. So in mid function, now we'll use mid function. So this function is not specific about beginning to print from any given fixed position. So that is, it is not saying it will print from beginning or from end. You can choose from where it has to print, and you can provide the number of characters, how many characters have to be printed and from where. So all those things can be done with mid. You just check the parameters. It is asking you text. It is asking you start number. It is asking you number of characters. Text is this, and then you have start num. From where you want to start printing, you should provide that. Now, if I want leaf, leaf is the 7th character over here. Decil is 5, we have space in the 6th character. L is in the 7th character, I'll give 7. And if I have to print leaf, leaf is of 4 characters, so I'll give 4 over here. Close the bracket, press enter, see, we print leaf for you. So the task given here is to find the words within the brackets. I want to print all words present within the brackets. So I'll use mid function and get it done. So you can see here, if I get to do it manually, you can see this is how the results will be. Excuse me. Yeah. Mid. This is the text. Start num. See, start num is G. So from G, I have to start printing. So G is of which character? I should get the character position of G over here. So Brazil is 5, leaf is 4, and 2 characters. So G is of 13th character. Next, how many characters? From 13th character, how many characters need to be printed? Ground length is 6. So it should print this. But this is not going to hold the same for all the product names that we have here. Now, if I have to get the word present within the bracket for all the product names, this is not going to work because it's a hard-coded value. I've just given a value directly based on vessel leaf ground value. So to make it dynamic, see, I'll have to find out how to get this 13. See, how did we get 13? It is G's position, as I said. But is there any guarantee that G will be the starting position of all the words present within bracket? No. See, we have whole here, we have raw somewhere, rebuild somewhere. So it should take automatically the position of the character just next to the opening bracket. So that is where we have to find the logic. See, opening bracket is common to all the product names. I'm going to use that to make my formula dynamic. I'll find position of opening bracket. I'll add 1 to it. So I'll just say find opening bracket and I'll add 1 to it. I'll use this find opening brackets position within this text. Okay, then close it and add 1 to it. because I want the character next to the opening brackets, not the opening bracket itself. So I'll add 1 to the output of find. We got it. So we got 13. So we solved this. So next is how to get this value 6 using other formulas. See, as I said, there is no guarantee even this closing bracket will be in the end. So it could be somewhere in the middle also, like in this cinnamon ground extra high oil something. So this product name has got a closing bracket in the mid of the text. So I can't use len function. I'll be using closing brackets position. That is easier. I'll find its position and subtract 13 from it. So that will get me the position of, I'm sorry, the entire length that we have to print from the 13th character. So I'll use that, find closing bracket. So I'll use that here, equal to find closing bracket position within this. Okay, this is getting, so if I get the fraction or number of characters that I want to print, I'll just say 19 minus 13 is going to give me 6 over here. So we have got 13, we have got 6. So I'm going to use these cell references in my mid function. So use this 13, I'll choose the cell and I'll select 6 and choose this cell. Once I've done with it, you could just copy paste all of this. So you can check, you will be getting the correct results for all these product names. The words which are present in brackets are getting printed. Do you have any doubts here? Students, do you have any doubts in this?
Can you apply a single formula as you did for other functions like left and right?
Yeah, sure, I can show you that one as well. I'll show that to you over here. It will be quite lengthier. You should just understand it. See, or there is another way as well. So we first gave mid, we selected this text, we typed 13 and we typed 6 directly. So what you could do is, wherever 6 is the thing, no? No, 5, okay. Just give me a second. Okay, I'll show it to you here. Wait. So we gave this text. I typed 13 and 6 manually by counting the number of characters. So you know how to find out 13 and how to get 6 over here. So you can do one more thing. You could just copy paste these functions that you have given here directly. Say we have this cell where we have the answer 13. Just copy this function without this equal to. You have to copy it. Copy this, press enter, go here. In place of 13, you could paste it. So do the same for 6 also. But 6 again is using two different values. So we have to paste this first formula that we gave and give that within brackets, because we have that +1 outside the brackets, and subtract and subtract this from 19. So press enter. You take this 19 function that gave you 19, copy it and paste it in this place. and subtract it. So this will be the function to find it out. You can type directly. So this will be the function. Clear? Syed, you have a question?
Yeah, ma'am. Will you please explain me this formula once again?
Mid function.
Yeah, ma'am.
From
That
where
like
exactly?
from this
Yeah.
find second one, second find,
Second find.
like mid find open bracket plus one, and again find you have used close bracket, right?
Okay, okay.
That one, will you please explain that?
Yeah, sure. See, I'll take an example here. The same thing. I'll use the same word that we have used. Basil leaf, and we have an opening bracket and ground inside this. So you can take this, the entire thing.
Ma'am, I'm not able to see what you're doing.
Wait for a second, Syed. I'm preparing the data to explain to you.
Okay, okay, ma'am. Thank you.
Okay. So now you're able to see it, Syed?
No, ma'am. No, I'm not able to see.
Oh, okay. Wait a second. I'll share it again.
Sure.
See, I've prepared some data for you over here. You're able to see it now?
Yeah, ma'am. I'm able to see. Thank you.
See what we did, we used mid function to get this value. So this has to be printed using mid function. And mid has got three parameters. One is text, start num, and the number of characters. Text is the cell where basil leaf ground, the entire text is present, that is text. Starting position is from where exactly I have to start printing it. So for that I choose this ground. From G I want to print ground. So now you understood how we got 13, Syed?
Yeah, ma'am. I got to know.
Okay. And the length of ground is 6 characters. To get this 6 directly, so what I did is I subtracted position of closing bracket, that is 19, from the position of G, that is 13. So if you subtract 13 from 19, that is 19 minus 13 will be 6. So that's how you're getting the exact number of characters within the bracket. Clear, Syed?
Yeah, ma'am. It is clear for me. Thank you.
Okay.
Okay.
Any
Hello.
other doubts? Yes. tell
Ma'am,
me.
in between the formulas, we use brackets.
Yes, we did. Yes, we did.
After plus one or minus one.
Yes, I'll show
Like
you here.
how to know that?
I'll show you here what will be the result if you don't use the brackets. See, this was the input over there. If you find opening brackets position from this particular text and add 1 to it, we are going to get G's position. That is this one. Correct?
Correct, ma'am.
Srinivas? Yes.
Correct.
So now I have this formula. Now I want to subtract it from 19. 19 I got again by finding the closing brackets position.
Can you use a single line formula and so
Shall
that
I
it will
type
be
it for you?
Yes.
Okay. So if you don't
Instead
get
of splitting it,
fine,
if
I'll
we
type it right away. So first I have to find the position of closing bracket. Okay. Within this text, and I'll have to subtract this one. See, now I have not used brackets to enclose this plus one.
Correct.
Now if I press enter, so this is what happens. Actually, the number of characters should be 6, but you're getting 8 because it will work like this: 19 minus 12 plus 1. This is how it works. 19 minus 12 will be 7. 7 plus 1 will be 8. But actually, we want
Okay.
19 minus 13. So to get this 13, I have to enclose within the brackets. Clear?
Yes, ma'am.
So don't worry, there are a few more simple things that will get these issues solved. So I think I told you about this flash while giving the introduction. So those things will reduce your work to a great extent. But still it is good to know these functions. They are much more stable and robust in getting the accurate results. So anyone else have any doubts in this function till here? So I'm going to end the session and I'll stop here. So I just wanted to confirm if you have any other doubts in this till mid function. Do you have any doubts?
No, ma'am. Please share the video so that we can practice it.
Yeah, definitely. I'll be sharing the videos. So I'll be sharing these files as well, just like yesterday, whatever we did. I'll be sharing blank files so that you can go home and practice it. Anyways, we'll be sharing the link of the video also. And one more request to all of you. I'll be placing this material link in the video link itself. Just in the description of the YouTube link, you can find the material, the link to the material. Is it clear?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So thank you all. I hope this session was really good. Thanks again. And I'll stop recording and we'll see you tomorrow at the same time.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you. Thank you. Bye.